What's up, guys? It's Patricia from tarantulaheaven.com and welcome to Tarantula Tuesday. If you're into tarantulas, tarantula videos, learning weird things about tarantulas and the tarantula hobby, please subscribe. And if you're back, thank you so much for returning. I'm so excited you're spending today with me. So over here we have Miss Spidey. She is my Jirazea, the star. Anyway, I don't want to do a long introduction. So today we're talking about how to behave in a tarantula Facebook group. And it makes me feel a little bit weird to even say that because I feel like internet etiquette should be a thing that we're all aware of. However, if you have spent any time in a tarantula Facebook group, you have either been a witness to or a victim of some sort of unethical or cruel behavior. And so if you've been in a tarantula Facebook group, you know exactly why I'm making this. Now, Facebook groups are not the only place for tarantula owners to come together. There are a lot of different forums. There's arachnoboards, tarantula forums, YouTube. However, I do think that tarantula Facebook groups are one of the most problematic places. And so that's why I am targeting it in this video. And if I've left anything out, please leave it in the comments because we need to educate people. So I'm just gonna name a few things that I personally, based on what I've seen, based on my experience as an admin of my own tarantula group, and just things that I've come across in the hobby. The first thing I wanna mention is please read the rules before joining a group. This is so important. Many moderators and group creators, myself included, have taken a lot of time to create rules for our groups and thought about a lot about how we would like to run our particular group. Besides just making the rules, we actually spend a lot of time making sure that those rules are being enforced and that our guidelines are being followed. It's a top priority for creators and moderators to make sure that our tarantula groups on Facebook actually remain a very safe, welcoming place. And you may not know this if you're new to things, but tarantula Facebook groups can actually get in trouble or perhaps be shut down if you don't follow the rules. A few years ago, this actually became a major concern for tarantula Facebook groups because Facebook had banned the sale of live animals in these groups. And so when that happened, myself and many other admins had to really crack down on selling posts and basically ban them. And so we actually get very concerned when people do not follow the rules, despite our efforts to make the rules and guidelines very, very clear. And when people just post whatever they want, we can actually get in trouble for that. So if you can't follow the rules and if you can't be bothered to actually just quickly read the rules before you join a group, if there is that kind of red tape around the group, please don't join. Because unfortunately, if you're not following the rules, you're probably going to be kicked out anyway. Another thing that I would suggest for tarantula Facebook groups is that you actually contribute and interact with the group. Now, this tip is not directed at people who just like to observe, read, and stay quiet in the Facebook groups. I totally understand being an introvert, and I don't mind that at all. Facebook groups are a great place to quietly learn from others. But what I do mind, and something that I see in my groups a little bit, is when I see people using tarantula Facebook groups solely to promote their YouTube channels, their own groups, or to do those kind of against the rules selling posts. Now, I don't mind at all if people want to post their YouTube videos or share. I think that that's wonderful, and I am all for that. However, what I do mind is if that's all that you're doing in my group, and maybe other group creators or admins feel the same. Groups are for sharing and connecting. It's not just about promoting your thing. So if you're not contributing beyond posting your own content, then you're kind of clogging up the feed and you're not actually there for the right reasons. Okay, another tip that I'd like to mention is be nice. Oh my God, I can't say this loud enough. And I'm not just saying this, oh my God, she's moving. Hey, baby. Anyway, I'm not just saying that because I'm a therapist. I'm saying that because if you join a tarantula group or any Facebook group, but we're talking about tarantula groups, with the intention of harassing, bullying, making fun of others, starting arguments, being mean, or exhibiting any type of discriminatory behavior, please rethink joining that group. In my group and other tarantula groups, we actually have specific rules and guidelines against that kind of behavior. I take a zero tolerance stance on this. Many other Facebook groups take a zero tolerance stance on that kind of behavior. So you're going to get banned. Other members can report you if we don't see it before they do. And so you really need to figure out what is your energy and behavior online. My group is very tiny. My Facebook group is only it's like in the lower thousands. And so I cannot even imagine what bigger Facebook groups that have tens of thousands deal with, because even I've had to ban a few people here and there for really poor behavior. Another point I'd like to make is that if you are witnessing or experiencing any type of bad behavior or abuse, please don't engage with it by yourself. Don't engage with it at all, because you'll probably just make it worse. And you might also risk yourself being banned by accident in case there's like a misunderstanding. So what I would suggest, the safest way to deal with this for yourself and for just the benefit of the group and for you staying in the group, is to flag it, report it, and tell us about it so that the admins or myself can deal with it. And then you can go back to enjoying the group. We will so appreciate it. We will see you as an ally in our group. And then you don't have to accidentally get banned either just because you got into a fight with this person and now everybody looks bad. So please, if you see any of that stuff, just flag it, tell a mod or somebody like that, and just stay out of it. Don't expose yourself to that bad behavior if someone's being nasty. Another thing I would like to talk about in regards to being nice and kind is directed towards more seasoned tarantula owners. My advice is, don't forget where you started. You might think a question from a newer tarantula owner is stupid, but I bet there are dozens of new people in that group that can actually learn from that question. And we are never too good to learn, and we're never too good to help others or be kind. So if someone is making a mistake or doing something dangerous with their tarantula, please be kind and helpful in your response so that people don't get discouraged, people don't become defensive, and so that we can keep sharing how great tarantulas are and keep having fun online. Another thing that comes along with group etiquette is please don't harass people. No public harassment and no private harassment. Do not join tarantula Facebook groups with the intention of privately harassing people, even if you're not doing it publicly. People aren't stupid. If you slide into somebody's messages to be rude or bothersome, they will either block you, put you on blast in the group, or they're going to tell somebody who can ban you. So please don't waste anyone's time and keep these groups a safe place. And I think this is particularly important because the tarantula hobby is getting a lot bigger, and I also noticed that there are a lot of young ones getting involved in this hobby. And I know that Facebook does have like a Facebook Kids version, but I imagine that some of our younger members, despite that parental control in place, are not actually on the kids version of it, and they can actually get into these groups. So we really need to be very careful with, one, talking to our kids about internet safety, but us adults have to be very careful about protecting young ones if we see them in these groups, and we need to have like a zero tolerance policy on any bad behavior towards them. And the last thing I would like to mention as far as Facebook group etiquette is do not scam people. No scamming. And for you guys who are in the Facebook groups, be aware that there are actually people who are scamming. This is so sad, but there are so many times that I see people unfortunately posting about buying tarantulas from someone on Facebook that maybe they met in a group, and then that person disappeared, or they got a bad shipment, they can't get a refund. There are all sorts of really bad things that can happen with this. It has never been easier to scam people with things like Cash App and things like that, and Facebook Money. So please be aware that this does happen. If you are concerned that something sounds fishy when you're talking to somebody, please reach out to your fellow group mates or tell a moderator of the group and decide to only work with legit, reputable companies for tarantulas. I know sometimes we want to just go buyer to buyer because it seems like it's going to be easier, but Facebook groups are really popular for this kind of bad behavior. And if you actually do talk to your fellow group mates, more often than not, they might have had some experience with that person and can kind of help you out or tell you, no, don't talk to them. They're very, very shady. So that is my advice. And Richard Stewart from the Tarantula Collective actually did a great video on this about how to avoid scammers. So I'm going to link that in the description. It's a great video. And that's what I would like to leave you guys with so that you cannot fall victim to somebody who's trying to take advantage of people in Tarantula Facebook groups, which should be a fun and safe place for everybody. Anyway, guys, so that is my little spiel about how to behave in Tarantula Facebook groups to keep things healthy, fun, and great for this hobby. This hobby is so wonderful. There are so many wonderful people in this hobby, and we can all learn from each other. And so we shouldn't let a few rotten apples ruin it, but we've got to be aware that we all have to do our part to keep these groups very good places to be. Anyway, let me know if I've missed anything as far as Tarantula Facebook etiquette. I'd love to hear what your experiences are and what you think could also be improved upon. If I have missed something, I think that this is a very important topic, and it's a newer topic in the tarantula community, and in any hobby too, because online communities are becoming so much more prevalent, and we have to think about how we behave online now. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. And Spidey and I will see you next week for Tarantula Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.